Let's stick on with the pandemic here and look at how it's playing out in the looming Northern Territory election. I'm joined from Darwin by Leah Finocchiaro, who heads up the country Liberal Party in the Territory. Thanks for joining us, Leah. Can I get your thoughts first up on the current border restrictions in the Territory? Do you support the current settings by the Northern Territory Labor government?
Look, yes, we do. We don't usually agree with Labor, but we have been following the health advice here in the Northern Territory, and our response to COVID has been to monitor and identify hotspots and then close off hotspots to the Territory as and when that medical advice comes through, and of course allow other people around our great nation who want to come to the Territory from those COVID-free areas to freely come through. Because
as you well know, the Labor Party's running ads targeted deliberately at you, a previous position you shared on those borders. Have a look.
If I was Chief Minister, I would be reopening the Northern Territory's borders to the rest of the nation on the 22nd of June. If I was Chief Minister, I would be reopening the Northern Territory's borders to the rest of the nation on the 22nd of June. If I was Chief Minister, I would be reopening the Northern Territory's borders to the rest of the nation on the 22nd of June.
If the CLP had been in charge, what would our news look like today? Authorised by A. Brereton, Australian Labor Party, Northern Territory Branch, Darwin.
OK, so you've changed your mind. Is that the argument? Is that the response to what the Territory's saying there?
No, we haven't changed our mind. Back at that time when I made those comments, there were no hotspots around our nation. And of course, had we have opened our borders on the 22nd of June, we would have done so with police still at our borders, of course, collecting that really important information from people moving into the Territory. It would have followed the health advice, and it would have been reactive to hotspots as and when they come up, because of course hotspots continue to change. Just last week we had Brisbane as a hotspot, and on Friday the Chief Minister lifted that area so that people from Brisbane can travel freely into the Territory. I think what's most disappointing is how... Sorry, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, let's just have a look at what Michael Gunner is saying now, because yesterday he surprised everybody with this comment.
We're working towards at least an 18-month window from today, towards the end of next year, is how we're starting to resource our borders. We're recruiting extra police to be able to make sure we keep those hard border controls in place, recruiting extra health officials, make sure we can monitor arrivals at the airport. We're now working towards an 18-month window from here, and that's conservative probably.
There's the Labor Chief Minister, Michael Gunner. Leah, if he's suggesting that you are too eager to open the borders, I mean, this seems extraordinary to be suggesting the Territory can be cut off from Victoria, from New South Wales for another 18 months.
I think the Chief Minister's comments are really reckless and irresponsible. We are 11 days out from a general election, and so his political career is on the line. But what he's done in those comments is use words like hard borders and indefinite closures, which has really scared people here in the Territory. Of course, the pandemic is something of great concern to everybody, and we've been so fortunate here in the Territory not to have ever had community transmission, and we want to keep it that way. But some tough talk at an election time just further shows how low this government will go to stoop to using the pandemic for political advantage.
Just briefly then, what would you see as the major issue at the election?
Oh, look, I think COVID is obviously consuming people's attention, but really this election comes down to jobs. It's about growing our economy, and it's about community safety. Under the Gunner government, we've had the worst performing economy in the nation year on year pre-COVID. We had lost 11,000 jobs pre-COVID. This government has no plan. It has skyrocketed our debt to $8.2 billion without any idea of how it's going to pay that back, and has burdened generations of Territorians into the future with unsustainable levels of debt and economic failure. So they're very key issues here in the Northern Territory, including community safety.
The economy. Thanks for joining us, Leah.